Hello everyone and welcome back to DET Coach's Beginner's Guide to the Duolingo English Test. In the previous lesson, we learned the overall interactive listening workflow. In this lesson, we'll focus on scenario audio and listen and complete. Each set begins with the scenario audio, followed by 3 to 4 completion questions. The method is straightforward. Understand the main thread of the scenario, then fill in the missing information. If anything is unclear, use the question to identify the key detail you need, and listen a second time. Let's work directly with the example from the lesson materials. First, listen to the complete scenario audio.
A student visits a professor during office hours because her research paper needs a clearer focus before Friday.
After the first listen, we can identify the main thread. A student visits a professor during office hours because the focus of her paper is unclear and she needs to revise it before Friday. Now, let's use the 3 blanks to work out the details. The first question is, what problem does the student have? The sentence to complete is, her research paper has an unclear blank. The question asks about the student's problem. The phrase "an unclear" must be followed by a noun. In the audio, we hear needs a clearer focus. The question paraphrases this as has an unclear focus, which has the same meaning. The answer to the first blank is therefore focus. The second question is, when does the paper need to be improved? The sentence to complete is, the paper needs to be improved before blank. The word when tells us to look for time information. The audio says before Friday. Because before is already provided, enter only Friday in the blank, and remember to capitalize the first letter. The third question is, who does the student visit during office hours? The sentence to complete is, during office hours, the student visits her blank. The word who tells us that the answer should be a person or role. At the beginning of the audio, we hear that a student visits a professor during office hours. The answer to the third blank is therefore professor. Because her is already provided before the blank, do not include it in your answer. Enter only professor. Some test takers begin replaying the full audio 2 or 3 times as soon as they see the completion questions, without reading the questions first. This gives them no clear listening goal and uses up valuable time within the shared 6-minute and 30-second limit. Do not begin a second or third listen without first examining the question. Use the first listen to understand the main thread. Once the questions appear, listen again only when a detail remains uncertain, and use that specific question to guide you. The audio restarts from the beginning each time, so decide in advance whether you are listening for the problem, the time, or the person. Each of the 3 blanks in this example can be solved using a different type of clue. We identify focus from the meaning of the question, the required part of speech, and the paraphrase. We use when and before to identify Friday as the time detail. We identify professor from who and the relationship between the speakers. All 3 follow the same method. Use the question to decide what information you need, use the sentence structure to narrow down the possibilities, and then return to the audio to confirm the answer. Listen and complete tests whether you understand the information. It is not a word-for-word dictation task. In the next lesson, we'll move on to listen and respond. I'll see you in the next lesson.